Alrighty, another pretty slow, pretty quiet session. As we take a look at ES here, we have today's move about half an ATR. We came into this session pretty much with the expectation that it was going to be a bit of a breather day. That is pretty much what we saw yesterday, and a bit of a continuation of that breather today. Now, as a reminder, anytime you have a big volatility expansion move like we saw on Tuesday with the CPI, you want to be expecting some compression. You want to be expecting some range trading. Price needs to correct, and it can either correct through price, which as always is a pullback, or it can correct through time, which is just going to be kind of like what we've seen the past two sessions with just very, very tight action, right? Some call this choppy, just a very muted session, low volume, not a lot of activity happening here. Still some decent trades that can be had, which I'll go over in a second, but broadly speaking, it's just a much slower session, usually a time when traders are getting walloped simply because they can't do less. They can't lean off the keys. They can't just fight that impulse to always be involved in a trade. So if that sounds familiar, it is definitely something that needs to be worked on. Anytime we have those slower trading days, most of the time we are able to anticipate when it is going to be a slower session. Today was one of those days, and this is a day that you just want to be doing less again. So we come into the sesh, we do have a bit of data in the morning, right? Make an overnight high, break the prior overnight high around that 45.22 area, pull back into the regular trading hours open. Prior day low was called as the main watch, the main reference point for today. And initially, just ahead of the open, you have a nice long setup. This gave about 15 points, right, directly into 10 a.m. And then what do you know, 10 a.m. reversal time right at the prior day volume point of control. Price starts to roll over there. Now, we were potentially looking at 4,500 as a downside level of interest. Did not even get a true test of that 4,500. So again, like I mentioned yesterday, it just shows the interest that buyers have here in supporting this tape and the lack of follow through that sellers have. Now, I mentioned earlier this morning during the pre-market live stream that sellers have a perfect daily bar from yesterday if they want to go ahead and actually show a sell-off today, and just could not materialize, could not be done. So once again, it is a buyer's tape. This is a bull's tape. We continue to see that just through the price action. It may be overbought, it may be this, that, and the other, but the fact remains that prices are being supported up here, and so we just have to, as traders, trade what the market is giving us, right? Not carry too much bias into it. Now, tomorrow is monthly OPEX. Can be a day that is full of more whipsaw as you get some of those options being repositioned. As far as what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow, well, I'm just treating this like a near-term range. Okay, 4,500 by 4,540. It's less than a 1 ATR move, so it is pretty tight. If 4,500 actually does fail to hold as support, we do have that 4,485 as a much more important level of support down there. That, again, that is the post CPI open unfilled gap below there. Buyers are really going to be wanting to defend this level. Now, as far as upside levels, of course, the range high 45.40, right? That's that PPI high. And then up into 45.60. The significance of that 45.60 is that it is the September high, right? From a structural perspective, we have to be paying attention to these levels right through here. Now, again, on QQQ, I've been talking about this the past couple of days. We're testing this July high. So once again, sellers had a perfect opportunity to sell the index today. And what do we see? We just see some near-term range trading, a bit of a breather here near what is going to be considered the breakout point. This is not really bearish development. You get a rally into what is going to be the breakout point, price consolidates, right? And then potentially breaks out. So that's what we want to be potentially watching for here on QQQ. It is just a near-term range, very similar to what we see in ES, right? Let's take a look at NQ. Yeah, so again, look at that daily bar from yesterday. That's a perfect opportunity for sellers to actually step in and trigger the sell-off. And it just could not be done. Could not be done. So now the setup changes a bit, right? It's less clear here. It's more so looking like we are seeing acceptance above this September high. And so you just want to be keeping an eye. Let's take a look at the near-term action here. Yeah, keep an eye on this 15,800 area, right? It's going to be that post-CPI significance right through here. Overall, just, again, very, very tight action in NQ today. More of a breather type of session. Definitely not outside of the norm. Slow action. As far as tomorrow, just watch today's range with special attention on that 15,800 on NQ. ES, once again, 4,500 main level of interest for ES. So price, let's take a look right now. Yeah, resolving higher, right? So we'll see how that shakes out overnight. As far as individual names, a bunch of second days on watch. We have BABA on the second day watch. It did give that breakdown, that weakness I was looking for into 78, but did not break the larger support here. And so we'll be looking at that. Potential continuation play there. It's just going to be treated as a second day. CSCO, another second day, was not on watch today, but it is post earnings. Huge volume. You have a daily hammer right at the daily volume point of control. So that's a long Disney and inside day, right here at the breakout point. This is just a technical setup. No news here. INTC, another second day. I believe this had some analyst upgrades today. Big trend move today, relative strength, right? So we'll just be looking for continuation of that INTC move. PANW was on watch today, did not quite get into that target we wanted. Tested daily support right down here, 234, then bounced. So I'll rerun the idea that we had for today on PANW. And then target an inside day on big volume. So the inside day, we just look for a break of today's range. Main watch is just going to be the index. Range trading. It's the main thing you need to understand here. We're trading within a very tight range. And when I say tight, I just mean it is current ATR is 55 and the range is only 40 points. So it's less than what ES does in a normal day. We only traded a 24 point range today, which half an ATR, pretty slow. These are the type of days you want to be, more risk off, more just kind of doing less, essentially leaning off the keys. Maybe you get one scalp, two scalps here and there. Otherwise, just chill. Save that mental capital and that actual trading capital for better opportunities, for better days. So that's the end of day recap for today, Thursday, November 16th. Hope everyone had a great day, or at the very least just protected your gains from earlier in the week. I will see you tomorrow for the pre-market prep live stream. Take care.